And welcome back to All Over the Map. Thanks for tuning in. On this episode, we're going to play Borders of the World. First game I played of this by Defa. 191 borders around the world. Some are heavily guarded, and others you do not even notice. Some are landmarks, others are border stations. Enjoy this game. It looks like a fairly difficult game, moderates. So definitely going to be a challenge. This challenge will be a 2-minute no move game. And as always, the play along link will be in the description below. So let's get right into it and see where this takes us. And we got a seaside town or seaside border. Looks like it is Hebrew, Porta John, or a Spadapod, or a Portaloo, whatever you call it in your part of the world. Open your mind to Coca-Cola Zero. So this would be looking. This is Google looking east. Looking north. What does this say here? It's looking south. Okay, so we go to Israel. And wonder if we're like here. I mean, it seems like it could be it. Taba, like this beach here. Maybe we're like at this roundabout. A roundabout of nothing other than just a roundabout. I think this could be it. Because it is a border. It doesn't look like the Dead Sea or like just with it being south and northeast. This wouldn't be it. I think this is the only place it could be, so I'm just going to guess that. And there we are. Great first round. 5,000 points, 17 yards on the border of Egypt and Israel. So pretty good. Pretty happy with that one. The Taba border control or border crossing, which is interesting. So the Google map goes down that far. The underwater observatory park. A little tough today talking. Hope everybody's doing well out there. It's got a big party over here. Interesting stonework. Massive river, I think. Interesting color. Blue. And the sun in the west. I mean, I feel like this is probably Africa someplace, but I'm not entirely sure where. Interesting stonework. That's the one thing here. Almost feel like this is like Mozambique and Tanzania. I'm not sure though where there would be. I mean, maybe over here, like in this area. It seems like this could be it, like Zumbo, or just get that feeling that it's in this part of Africa, but I could be totally wrong. It could be in a different continent, but that's what I'm thinking just on this. And the stone, although I could be totally off on that. Probably a little more. Is it drier? The trees. Okay, so we were 1,000 miles, over 1,000 miles away in Brazzaville, Well, down the road from that, at Kinsuka Beach on the border of the Republic of Congo and the Democratic Republic of Congo. So that was interesting. Yeah, this is probably the first time I've had a round in this part of the world. Don't recall any other game. But yeah, not too far, not too bad. I guess if I had more time, I would have gotten a better score. I don't know. But let's get off to the next round and see where it takes us. Porosia. Okay. Guys, obviously walking somewhere to Google Map. First, I'm just thinking this was Spanish. I don't think that's the case. Feels like with the trees and the type of vehicle, this could be an utter failure, but in the landscape, like Slovakia. Here's an interesting thing on the back of this car. But if I look at this here, I don't know what this patch is, but I'm going to go off of this patch and think that this is like Slovakia. And maybe we're like going near the Ukraine. Maybe like over here somewhere. Slovensko. And the reason why I'm going to go near the Ukraine is because of this little thing on the car. I know that I try not to do this car meta stuff, but I see it looks like a church. Again, I don't know what police is in Slovakian, but I could be totally wrong on this. But with some of the trees, I gotta think it's this part of the world around here. But I could be wrong. So let's just see where we wind up. And oh man, what a guess! It's one of my better guesses, I would have to say. Just using some clues from, yeah. Again, we'll come back at the end and look at that one, but that's a pretty good guess for me. 4,931 points on the border of Ukraine and Slovakia. So pretty thrilled about that. Okay, reduce speed. Noor Al Sada Carpets Trading. This is Google. Passport, reduce speed. Okay, so maybe this is Israel to like Jordan. I don't know about this license plate. I don't know about this one, folks, to be honest. It seems like it should be that part of the world. I'm not sure what this logo is, but we're looking east. Maybe we're looking in. Maybe this is going to like Israel. But it's interesting that there's like a Chevy there and there's some license plates. So I'm not sold on this. So even a border crossing, that's the thing. Into, don't think so. Just got to guess there. Wow, that was not a good guess for me. That's what happens. Interesting. I probably should have thought better about this. but that yellow license plate threw me off a bit. But we were UAE going into Oman, so that's interesting. Didn't think the Google car kind of threw me off a little bit too. So nonetheless, 1,000 points, tough round that. So you get to go up to the fifth and final round, and okay, Mexico. Corona looks like a slot machine of some sort. QR. Quintero. Well, it's Quintaru, maybe? QR. Don't think there's any state. This doesn't look like it would be in any place near the United States border. So I think there's a good chance that we're probably there. Something Union QR. Caballeria. Okay, looking west northwest. Maybe like here. I'm not really sure on this. Tough game. Some of these things I obviously don't think we're at the border. But we could be in a different part of Mexico. And all right, we were 52 miles away, got the right border near Blue Creek, Belize, and La Union, Mexico, the Hondo River. So looks like you might have to take a ferry there. What do we get? We got 16,772. You got better than the score, but this is a little tougher one for me. Lost a lot of points on 2 rounds. The other 3 rounds were pretty good. So it was, yeah, we'll play this again. Very tough game for me, but nonetheless, again, we'll go through it and do a game breakdown here in a second. But for those that are here for the play along, just to watch me play, thanks for tuning in. But let's get into that game breakdown and see how we did. Some really good rounds in this game for me, and then some not so good rounds. First round was, for me, it was a pretty good round, I'd have to say. Got the Egypt-Israeli border, and some clues for that was, obviously you see Hebrew here, and then the general feel, it feels, with the stone, the arid climate, the palm trees. You've got some more Hebrew here, Coke Zero. You have to be, this is it. You have to be in Israel. For this, it's also Google. It's a Google, I believe Google image, and it is. And I looked at the body of water. Obviously, didn't look like the Dead Sea to me, so it had to be somewhere else. And with the mountains off to the west there, this had to be the southern part of Israel for me, and that's where we were. So, Eilat South District, and got my only perfect round of the game. The second round, hopefully you did better than me in this round. Got the right part of the world, but about 1,000 miles off. Again, just some of the clues, the stone, the general feel of the buildings, folks here. I just got the general sense, the river, the trees, some of these trees over here, that we were in the not southern part where you're South Africa and stuff, but that, south of the equator, so to speak, in Africa. And listen, I know it wasn't a lot of points, but to go from Zambia or Mozambique to the border of Congo, the Democratic Republic of Congo and the Republic of Congo, wasn't too bad. I'll take that. given the short time rounds and some of the lack of clues, I should say, in this game, which, again, makes the game a little tougher when you don't have the exact border in that. Third round went off. This was probably my best guess of the game. I first thought when I saw this guy, I'm thinking, okay, this is Policia. Maybe this is like Spanish or something. But coming over here, seeing this type of vehicle, looking at this fellow, looked Slavic, for a lack of a better word. Slavic just looked like a... And then I saw this blue, and what looked like... Can't really look at it, but it looked like the crest of on the Slovakian flag. That's what I thought, like the two crosses or whatever it is. I'm not sure what that is. The flatlands, saw like a church down here, just a general sense of it. But then I assumed they were Slovakia, and the reason why I went to towards the Ukraine border is because of this little thing here. I've noticed that that's in Ukraine, Russia, or whatever, the little antenna on the car, and just decided to plonk it down closer to, to the south or wherever I felt like there was a lot of less urban areas. Not that there's a lot anyway, but I was pretty pleased at that. We were only 12 miles away from that one, so pretty pleased with that one. Round 4, we went off to Oman and the UAE border. Be quite honest with you, I was a little disappointed in this one with me. I saw that there was carpets, rugs, or whatever they are. It's like in Persian rugs or whatever. But Sada carpets, Al Sada, I probably should have picked up on some of this that we were there. I think what threw me off, to be honest, the reason why I went to Jordan or Israel, and I probably should never picked that, was some of the landscape. I saw a Chevy car, and then this like Hyundai with the yellow front license plate. I was just thinking yellow I equate to Israel, so I'm like thinking that's what it was, when in fact I probably should know the logo or the seal or whatever this is. But nonetheless, this is why I play this game, is to learn and to find new and exciting places every day. The 5th round was pretty decent. We went off to Mexico. I mean, a pretty easy clue there. The QR, not a QR code, but QR is a Quintana Roo. I think it's home of Cancun and all the nice tropical places. Just went off of that, and nice Border Patrol agent wearing flip-flops and reading a paper. I think that's a Border Patrol agent. If that's the case, you're running. I don't know how well you're going to fare running this guy in flip-flops, to be honest. But there it is. As I always think of El Tri, the Mexican football team. When I see the Mexican flag, it's just, I guess that's what on my mind. Pepsi, Corona. You got Mexico here. So a lot of clues in this round as to where you were on the border between Belize and Mexico. So hopefully you enjoyed that one. I enjoyed this one. This was a request to do a borders game. I will definitely do this one again. But any requests you want me to play, I'm happy to do it. And so as always, thanks for tuning in. Until next time, cheers.